If I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we are now joined by Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet. Kyle, you've announced some big news this week, getting ready to make a trip to Eldora, but you're here at a racetrack where you've performed well in the past. Some exciting times for the 42, huh?
Excited about next week, but first off, got to have a good weekend here. We struggled here last year. Was really good, my first season in Cup, but last year this is probably our worst racetrack. So not off to a good start here in practice. I thought, we're off a little bit, but me as well. This track's just tough for me. So look at some notes and stuff, and Jamie's pretty quick, so I've been talking to him a little bit here after practice and trying to learn as much as I can. So just hoping for a good weekend. We've been getting closer and closer in the points that getting in position to make the chase. So just got to keep working hard, be consistent, not have any bad races, and hopefully can get there.
Good deal. Let's open up the questions. If you have a question, we'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start with Claire B. Lang.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. With Dale Jr.'s news today, it really surprised a lot of people. What about as a driver? And what are your associations or thoughts about concussions for drivers, whether you've ever come close to getting one?
It's just, hats off to Junior for making that choice on his own, I guess, to sit this weekend out and kind of work on getting himself better. Cool opportunity for Alex Bowman. You hate to see it, be of that nature, but NASCAR does a great job, with making these cars safer and safer, and as well as we have some good doctors we can all go see if we are not feeling right. We have the impact test and things like that to make sure we're 100%. And obviously he knew something was wrong, and took the actions upon himself to go see, I guess, doctors, and then ultimately sit this weekend out. So hope he gets better soon. It's definitely weird to see somebody else in that 88 car, but he'll be back quickly, I hope, and can have a good rest of the year.
Have you ever had?
I've wrecked a lot. For sure. I don't know if I've ever had an actual concussion. I'm sure we've all probably had minor ones. You've probably had minor ones yourself. So I don't know, though. I know for a fact I've never had a major concussion. So, but it's always something you gotta keep an eye on. And whenever I've wrecked hard in this NASCAR stuff, I've gone to take the impact test to make sure everything's right with me. So just safety is the number one thing for all of us racers, and concussions has become a big deal here the last few years.
Questions for Kyle. Let's go to Bob and then to Mark.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Next week at Eldora, you're racing, and a lot of focus will be on you, but some of it will also probably be on Rico, considering he's racing there all weekend this weekend. How would you assess how he's doing in his first year of trucks, and how long would you expect it to really take for him to adapt to where he feels like he can be, top 5, top 10 week in and week out?
Yeah, man, Rico, he almost won Texas a few weeks ago, so that was cool. So, Rico he's only been racing for less than 10 years. He's 24 now. I think he started when he was 16. It's always kind of taken him, a year or two to get, things rolling where he can be consistent and figure out how to win. But once he does, he's, as good as it gets. Sprint cars, it took him 3 years probably, and now he's, considered a favorite every time he goes to a racetrack where, I think he'll learn a lot throughout this year of truck racing, and, hopefully by the end of the year, he'll be consistently in the top 10 and stuff like that. And, I think he was making a lot of improvements there within himself and with his race team up until the fire at their shop. And, now I think they've, lost a lot of their trucks and stuff like that, and resources and things. So you've seen his performance kind of fall off a little bit here lately. But I think once they get the shop all finished up and get some new trucks built, he'll be back to, run up front, Texas was a cool one for him. I didn't think he'd get that close to winning a race that early in his truck career. But the mile and a halves and stuff, he's got a similar driving style to me. I think I do better on mile and a halves, and Rico also does. So he'll have some good tracks coming up for him here soon, and hopefully can get a win or two.
Go to Mark, and then the Jim, and then the Lee, and then the Rich.
Mark Garrow, PRN. Kyle, once upon a time, these guys, Mario Andretti and Rutherford and all these guys, AJ, they ran sprint cars during the week, jumped in Indy cars in the weekend. If you were in a sprint car, that's what you aspired to do, run the Indy 500. When you started, did you have those aspirations, and do you hope maybe one day to be able to do the Indy 500?
Well, yeah, I love racing any type of car, any day of the week. I don't get to do it a whole lot anymore, but that's kind of what I did my whole career growing up, or at least in my bigger car racing. So from the time I was probably 15 on to now, I would just race anything I could, any day of the week. I still race my go-kart every once in a while. Still get to run a handful of sprint car midget races, and yeah, I would love to run the Indy 500 someday. I probably needed to focus on the NASCAR stuff, more before I think about doing that. I'm still winless in the Cup Series, and so I need to probably accomplish that before I can do the Indy 500. But yeah, I would love to, and Chip has great IndyCar equipment. Those people or his guys that work on all that stuff, guys and gals that work on all that stuff, do a really good job. They're always a favorite when they go to the Indy 500. So hopefully someday I can run the Indy 500. That's I think it's the biggest race in the world. Bigger than our Daytona 500, Brickyard 400, any of those races. So would love to have the opportunity just to start that someday.
Jim, and then the Lee.
Jim Noble with PRN and Sirius. This is going to be a fight throughout the summer for you to try to get into the chase. As time goes on, do you look back at the Dover race as any type of missed opportunity? If that race were tomorrow or later in the season, would you race Matt Kenseth any differently, knowing how hard it is to qualify for this chase?
I don't know. I respect Matt a lot. Obviously, had I moved him and got the win, I'd be in the chase right now. But I don't know. I felt like I raced him the way I should race people, and the way I want to be raced, and the way I feel like Matt would have raced me. And I know Matt will race me like that from here on out. So I feel like I did the right thing. Yes, I'm working hard still to get in the chase, but Matt Kenseth to me is one of the cleanest, nicest, best race car drivers there is in the garage area. And like I said, I think I did the right thing.
Go next to Lee, and then to Rich, and then right over here.
LeeSpencerMotorsport.com. It was unfortunate we didn't get to hear from you on Tuesday at Indy, but just curious about what kind of stuff you tried with your car, how your car felt. What are your expectations for next Sunday's race?
Yeah, I thought the Indy test went well. The first day we struggled with being a little bit tight, I thought. And then there at the very end of the day, even with the track kind of cooling down at the end, I thought we made some pretty big improvements. And then the second day, we were pretty good. I think we had the third fastest lap. Jimmy was really good. And then I was right there with Harvick. Long run stuff, I thought we were okay as well. So anytime you go to a track to test, spend a couple days at testing, you're always, or it seems like for us, we're always pretty good when we go back to a race. So I'm looking forward to the Brickyard. Indy's a cool track. Tough to pass, but it's fun track. Lots of friends there from my USAC days. So I always look forward to it.
Go to Rich, then to Dustin and Lenny.
Hi, Kyle. Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Are you starting to get a better handle, though, on how to run this track, and how are you working with Chad to address those issues?
Well, I would say no, considering my stats. Here in 2012, 13, and 14, I was really good. This is probably my best statistical track from K&N to Xfinity and then to Cup, a second and a third my first year. And then last year we were really, really bad. This was our worst track. And so I didn't have a ton of confidence coming into this, but practice, we didn't get a whole lot of laps, but practice didn't go great for us in our 42 team, but we made a race run there at the end, and I thought we got better, decent lap times. Qualifying trim, we were way off, but it's just a tough track. It's like a big Martinsville. I know I ran good at Martinsville earlier this year, but I'm not normally good there, so. I don't know. It's like I said, it's just tough. It's different than a lot of the racetracks we go to, and just got to work hard at getting better. I think since NASCAR has killed the horsepower, that's kind of what's hurt me the most here. Rolling momentum and stuff like that. So I just got to get a little bit better on my end, probably more so than the car.
Dustin?
Dustin Albino, front stretch. Kyle, I asked you something similar following the Dover race. Now that you've put together a good stretch of races, do you feel like the organization's turned the corner?
Yeah. When we had those couple good races, I think Kansas, Dover, around that time, we had made a lot of changes, prior to that. Didn't really know if our cars were that much better or if we just got lucky or whatever. And it seems like now we're pretty competitive each weekend. So, I think we've partly turned the corner. We still have a long ways to go to be consistently contending for top 8s or so, top 5s, top 8 finishes. But it's a lot better than when we started the year. We were hoping for top 20s. I felt like at least within myself. So we've definitely gotten our stuff way quicker, better on the long runs. Still got to work on the long run stuff. Last week you could see that we were good short run stuff, but long runs we were bad. But yeah, it's fun now to be show up the racetrack knowing that you're going to be somewhat competitive. And early in the year I was not excited to be at the racetrack, so it's been fun now. Just got to keep working hard.
Finish up with Lenny in the back.
Len Sanageri at a recent news. When you satellite race with your sprint car and the midget and whatnot, do you have to get permission from Ganassi and whatnot to do that? And in light of Dale's injury, does that turn the heat up on it a little bit more? I know you got Knoxville coming up too.
Yeah, I definitely have to get permission. I give them a list of races early in the year that I want to run. Obviously, that stuff kind of changes. If rainouts happen, then I can run a different one or something like that. I try to only run, or at least this year, I'm trying to only run about 20, 25. And I'm already almost to that. So, I don't know. It's not like Dale got hurt in a sprint car, so I don't think that matters. But obviously, the thought's always there, I'm sure, on Chip's end of me getting injured or something like that. But to me, I don't think about anything like that when I'm out there racing. If I was worried about getting hurt, I wouldn't do it. And if I was worried about it and I was racing still, I probably wouldn't be very competitive. So I just try and have fun when I go do that stuff. Looking forward to the Nationals. I got to run a couple times. We've been really good there, or we've been really good in the sprint car whenever I ran this year. So tough race though, but hopefully we can get a win in the Cup Series before we go there, so we don't have to worry about anything crazy happening.
Well, good luck, Kyle, and best of luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.